Hey girls! A couple of times you guys have asked me to do a hair tutorial and I'm getting ready for the wedding, so I thought that today would be as good a day as any. So please excuse my dirty bathroom and the lack of makeup that I have on, but I figured I might as well record this. So first I just want to show you some of the products that I use. So bear with me here. When my hair is wet, like right out of the shower, just towel dry, I use this Color Lover Premier 11. It's for frizz control, it's color safe, and kind of detangles because I've got some pretty ridiculously tangly hair. And then if I'm going to be blow drying or curling or straightening, I use this Tresemme Thermal Creations Heat Tamer Spray. Sort of protects it from heat damage. And then this Big Sexy Hair, it's not hairspray, it's the Root Plump Plus. I sprayed it into my hands. It's kind of like a mousse, and I put it in the roots of my hair for a little bit of volume. So I do all of that when my hair is wet. Today my hair is a day dirty, which curls seem to stay better a day dirty. So, and then the hairspray products that I'll be using while I'm curling, this is my favorite hairspray. It's the Bedhead Hard Hold Aerosol Hairspray. Works the best. And then I spray that on before I curl and after I curl. And then at the very end, when my whole head is curly, I've been using this. Actually bought it for the wedding last year and it was amazing. My hair stayed all day long, but it's pretty crunchy, so I don't like to use it on the whole look. It's the Got to Be Glued Blasting Freeze Spray. It's almost gone, so I may not be able to use it today, but that is what I use. And then also at the very end, I use just like a Shine Frizz Spray. I used to use the Matrix, it was Biolage Shine Spray, but I couldn't find it and it was expensive anyway, so I went to Sally's. I got this. It's called Generic Value Products Shine compared to Biolage Matrix Shine Renewal. So it's basically the same stuff, just cheaper. I think this whole bottle was $2.50. So that's what I use just kind of all over at the very end for shine and frizz control. So while I'm doing this, I'll be using the two hairsprays and the Shine Spray. So enjoy. Okay, so I also forgot to mention, I have two of these butterfly clippies, one slightly bigger, one slightly smaller one, brush, and then two sizes of curling irons for the look that I'm doing today. There. I've got, I think it's a 2-inch round, it's like Gilbert, and then 1-inch Hot Tools. I only started using the 2-inch for like the top layer of hair, the stuff that's more towards my face. I don't like the tight spiral curls there, and then I use the smaller, the 1-inch for the rest of my head because those are the ones that are going to probably fall loose. I used to try and use the 2-inch barrel for the back of my hair, and it would just be pretty much straight by the time I was even done curling. So it's just not a tight enough curl. It just doesn't hold for me. So, and then when my hair is longer, I can use the 2-inch on some of the back hair because there's more hair to wrap around, so it ends up with a tighter curl. But with the length my hair is now, if I use that, it only wraps like 1.5 times around the barrel, and it just doesn't curl enough. So, one or both, and if you like the tighter curls around your face, you can use the 1-inch. If I'm going to be pinning back like in a bump, I'll still use the 1-inch in the front because I like the way the small curls look when they're pinned back. But today we'll be doing 2-inch in the front and 1-inch around the rest. So the first thing I'm going to do is just really brush out my hair. It gets tangly overnight, so I'm going to brush it out and then section off the bottom section. Okay, so I've brushed out my hair and pulled back about everything above my ears. So there's, a good, four big strands on each side. And then I just section it from the back and pull one side to either side so that I can reach it and then I've butterfly clipped the rest of the hair on top of my head. You can see I kind of try and leave the part from the get-go where I want it to be at the end, just because it's easier than trying to part out hairs that have already been curled. So I like to start with the back sections as opposed to starting with the front sections, because if I go front backwards I end up missing pieces in between. So I start at the back and just grab, you know, one section. There's probably going to be 1, 2, probably 4 sections in this chunk of hair, but it's really just depends on how tight you want the curls to be. So I'm going to grab this back section here, and then like I said, I'm going to be using the 1-inch curling iron, and I don't wrap it around the barrel like some people do. I can't do that without burning myself, so I just actually use the clippy thing. There's something important. My sister taught me this when I was younger. It seems to make the curls feel better. I don't know if it's real or not. She calls it hair priming. When you're about to start your strand, start all the way at the top and close it, and then pull it all the way down, and pull it as close to the ends as you can. But I have some layering, so I can't get it all the way up. And then just roll, and then just barely tap on the handle, and it'll pull those end pieces in that weren't there before. I have mine on all the way high heat. I always have, but you know how your hair works. I hold it for a couple of seconds and then unclip gently and release it, and it's really a pretty tight spiral. So I try not to touch it as much as possible. I just kind of push it back to the back of my head so it's not in the way. So then I'm going to grab the next section of hair. That time I curled backwards towards the back of my head, so I try and rotate, not necessarily every single one, but just not so that they're all the same. So this one I'm going to hold the clippy thing with my thumb instead of with my pointer finger, and roll it towards my head. So I'm going to start at the top, prime the hair, go as far down as I can, start to wrap it towards my head, and then just press this a couple of times to lock in those end pieces. Hold it for a couple of seconds, and then release all the way down. Push it to the back. This one didn't curl very well, so I'm going to do it again with the next section. This time I'm going to go backwards, so pointer finger on the wand, start at the top to prime the hair, work your way down. I kind of roll as I go, just do. And roll towards the back, push it a couple of times, hold it for a couple of seconds, release, going downwards. And then pretty much all the ones in the front I like to go backwards, so even though I just did a backwards one, I'm gonna do another backwards one because I don't want the ones in my face to be curled forward. So I'm gonna go backwards again. Just realized that I forgot to hairspray prime this section of hair, so it's probably not gonna hold very well, but I'll do that on the other side. So start at the top, pull down. When you get to the bottom, you want your hair to be at the bottom, the base of the iron, and then when you roll, you're rolling up the iron. Tap it a couple times to get the ends, wrap it tight, hold it for a few seconds, release. So now this side is curled, and before I even go to the other side, see, I've already got a piece that's going flat. This is because I didn't hairspray prime. I'm just gonna fix this piece real quick. That'll also happen if you have too big a section. So I'm gonna hairspray this section. Do it for every section. And while I have the hairspray, I'm gonna go ahead and hairspray prime this side. Kind of brush it out and start on this side. I'm gonna go forwards, pull it all the way to the bottom, roll it, crimp a couple times to get the end pieces, hold it, release. You think you get the picture. So I'm going to pause and finish this section and then section off the next piece.